when you guys both feel full, it just creates a lot of more opportunity. It's like you're functioning at like a higher level, and then you just keep growing together.
Pour into each other because you love each other. Raise the vibe, raise the energy, raise the standard, and in doing that, like you guys can execute and do things that you never could have imagined. Like you and I would not be in this house if we didn't get on the same page.
Right.
We went from a $475,000 home to a $1.3 million home.
Yeah.
I was so uncomfortable, right, buying this house.
Yeah.
Yet in that moment, there was so much peace because you and I were on the same team. I was like, bro, like as long as we're chugging along in this, like we're gonna crush. If you're willing to operate as a team instead of rivals, and you pour into each other just like you would your best friend,
Yeah.
or a buddy that would call you and that's hurting, or a girlfriend that's being like, yo, I need some help. If you pour into them the way that you do those people,
Yes.
your marriage will be a direct reflection of them. Well, I'm glad we made the decision to truly like invest in this relationship.
Yeah.
Like it's been amazing.
I agree.
Yeah, proud of you. Welcome back to the Late Night Date Night podcast. I am Sergio Nazaro. This is my beautiful wife, Lizzie Ray, who's repping my brand better than I rep it myself. I feel a little jealous that I don't have my standard shirt on.
Yeah, it's your uniform usually.
I know.
But I felt like I needed to rep it today. It
Do
felt
I look,
right.
Do I look that cool when I wear my shirt like that?
No, I look cooler.
You have a crop top on. I cut all the sleeves off mine. Yeah. I'm getting ready to leave for Vegas today. And it's so interesting. Like when I start to talk to like people about me going to Vegas, I hear all these stories about guys who can't go to Vegas anymore. And it's so interesting because their wives don't trust them. They don't trust them for a number of reasons. And I'm always curious, right? Because I hear these guys' side of the story. But from a female perspective, why do you feel like women don't trust their husbands?
Yeah. Well, I think something had to happen before the woman got to that point where they don't trust their husbands, whether it be something as terrible as like cheating on their spouse, emotionally or physically, or maybe there's just been little promises that have been made over time and that have been broken.
Yeah.
And so I think those are some ways that trust can be broken in a relationship.
Yeah, I feel like the big ones obviously are like infidelity, lying, and those are the big ones that obviously are going to just take trust and completely throw it out the window. But then there's the small things.
Yeah.
What are the small things that you've experienced that have eroded the trust in either our relationship or in any of the previous relationships that you've been in?
Yeah. I think for us, I've always had this like deep trust in you and our relationship and our commitment to each other. I think some other ways where like distrust has come up in our relationship is just like, we're gonna go on this date night and then it like you look back months later and like it still hasn't happened, or like we're gonna go on this trip and then it still hasn't happened, or like I want to spend the weekend with you, you know, like small things like that just like happen over time, repeatedly, I think just like break trust.
Yeah, I see it in a lot of guys too. They wonder why their wives don't trust them. And I go, bro, like tell me about your commitments to yourself. Because most guys, like, in my opinion, it starts with a guy's ability to keep his commitment to his own word. So if he says he's going to get in shape and then he lasts like a week and then he stops working out, in my opinion, that's going to send a signal to the wife that, hey, you say you're going to do something and then you don't do it.
Right.
Like, does that create distrust in another man? Like, have you seen me do things saying like, hey, I'm going to do this and then I don't do it, and it creates a distrust in you?
Yeah, for sure. Well, then I just don't believe what you say. And then I think that subconsciously shows up elsewhere, like in our marriage.
What does that look like? Like when you say subconsciously, what does it look like?
Well, I think like if you say that you're going to work out, but then I notice that you're like not working out, then when you say something to me like later in the day that has nothing to do with actually going to work out, maybe I'm like, oh, okay, well, I don't believe him because he says he was going to do this, but then he didn't actually do that.
Yeah. Kind of like the containers that were sitting out just over there. And you're like, hey, can you take these downstairs? Hey, I was like, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. And then I didn't do it tomorrow and they were just sitting there.
Yeah.
Does that create distrust in you, or is that just like, he got lazy?
I think there's a delicate balance with like that, to me, that was more like a one-off. Like, oh, I know you had a ton of calls yesterday. You were super busy. You were also trying to prioritize time with our family because you're leaving today. And so I feel like I can give you somewhat of the benefit of the doubt to say like, oh, it's fine, but they're gone now.
Yeah.
So you took care of them.
Yeah, it's interesting too because in the moments when trust is rocky, something like that can just set it off.
Right.
Whereas now that I've invested so much just consistently in building trust, in building certainty, in building security, that when something like that happens, you can give me the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm. True.
Can you think of a time like when we were kind of like things weren't working?
Yeah.
And trust was not strong, and one thing kind of set you off?
Yeah. I think there's two points that I can
Two?
remember. Well, they kind of like blend together.
I said one. You get one. You can't just throw me under the bus twice. Like I feel like you want to throw me under the bus and then back it up and be like, hey guys, check it out.
Okay, sorry.
I'm just kidding. You get two. Give him two. Utah, give me two. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So I think when we were having a hard time, like right before Enzo was born, a lot of stuff from after Luca was born was coming up in myself, where I was like, we're going to have this baby and he's just going to leave and I'm going to be like left to figure it out by myself. And so I think that was one. And then I think the other was just like all of the travel that you were doing last year, traveling every other week. And because we weren't aligned on our vision and kind of like why we were doing it in the first place, just created this trust of like, well, he doesn't care. Like he says he wants to have more family time and be around and not be fully invested in his business and build this business like totally different than how he built his real estate business. But like his actions are saying that, he's just going to travel and that's just going to be it.
Yeah.
And so I think those were kind of blended.
Yeah, so they were blended. And it's interesting because this trust piece too, right? Like I felt like I was combating like things that I had done in the past, right? Which is normal. Like you have to experience these things and as a dude, you're going to fuck up. As a wife, you're going to fuck up. And it's the ability to recover from those things. Yeah. The interesting thing about trust is like it takes so long to build, and it takes nothing to get rid of it.
Yeah, like a second.
Like you could just completely erode in a second. And then also the other thing too that I've noticed is like when you and I first started dating, there were trust issues that you had taken from previous relationships that brought into this relationship, and there was trust issues that I've had to work on from getting cheated on by other girls that I had to make sure that I didn't bring into this relationship. Right. What was that like for you, like having to come into this relationship knowing that your previous relationship was not this beautiful thing, at least the way you described it, and what you have now, you had to step into this and give me an opportunity to not only just earn your trust, but also come in being like, I'm going to give this to him, and then it's his job to, how do I want to say this, to not lose it. Right. Was that challenging for you?
Yeah, for sure. I remember early on, just like you would go to lunch with a couple of your like close girlfriends, and you had relationships with or friendships with other women, and that made me feel uncomfortable, but that was because of my past with my old boyfriend or old relationships where like I was cheated on, and I also wasn't innocent either, like I also cheated. And so this is a hard podcast.
It is hard. Yeah. Talking about trust can be really challenging, especially when you realize that some of the things that we've done, right? Because I've cheated twice, not on you, but on a high school girlfriend and then a college girlfriend. And it's one of those things where, they say, once a cheater, always a cheater. It's like, well, I was young, dumb, and full of cum, as Eminem says. And it was just a situation where like you make mistakes, and then you have to learn how to understand that those things give you perspective. You understand what it feels like to cheat, and you understand what it feels like to get cheated on. And then I think it helped me understand that, like, okay, when I come into this relationship that I truly love with a woman that I respect, like, that's not even on the table.
Right.
But I'm going to Vegas now, and your ex-boyfriend cheated on you in Vegas multiple times.
Yeah.
What is it like for you knowing that I'm going to Vegas for 4 nights? Wait, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 nights? 4 nights would be too much. 3 nights is too much. What's that like for you knowing that I'm going to Vegas? Where does that like land on you?
You're going to Vegas.
Yeah.
You're going to Vegas for a work conference, see a bunch of speakers with, the warrior group that you're part of.
I get that piece. Is there
And
anything that comes
so,
alive in you?
No, there's no concern.
How did we get there?
I trust you. Like, and also, like, if you're going to make dumb decisions where you fuck it up, then I guess that's it.
Yeah.
Then we have a decision to make when you get back. And I don't know. I trust that you are fully committed to me and this family that we've built. And so I don't really, I'm not worried at all. What part, I guess, is hard for me is typically when you're traveling, I don't get a lot of, time to talk to you and just, connect with you and be like, how's your day? What did you learn? Tell me something exciting, And so I feel like that piece can be hard for me, and that's when I notice stuff coming up for me from my past of oh my gosh, is he going to make a poor decision down there?
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I just have to remind myself that that's old wounds or old things that have happened in my life that are just coming up, and if you look at the facts, you've given me nothing to really be concerned about.
Yeah, and at the same time, my awareness is that your ex-boyfriend slept with a bunch of other women in Vegas, and I'm going to Vegas, and I know that you love that I check in with you. Mm-hmm. So my responsibility as a good husband, because I want you to feel even more comfortable, right? You already don't have a reason. But to even make any of that not come up, I know that if I check in with you in the morning because I love you and I want to connect with you and I want to see the boys,
right.
And I text you a few times during the day because I miss you because you're one of my best friends, and I call you at night before I go to bed because I want to. What? Not only does that allow me to fill my cup because I miss you guys, but it also does a lot for you in knowing that, okay, these old wounds aren't coming up. And I think that's what I try to get across to my guys. It's yeah, it might be her responsibility to heal whatever she went through.
Right.
But it's also your responsibility to be a husband that is a leader and thinks about this shit.
Right. Well, and just cares about his spouse. You know?
Yeah.
Make the effort. I understand that you're super busy and literally booked from 8 a.m. to probably 9 p.m., probably even earlier, but taking 2 seconds out of your day to send me a quick text or just call and check in for just a few minutes can just make a huge difference.
Yeah. What do you think guys can do in their relationship to help build trust with their wives if they've lost it? And not from infidelity or from lying, but just on a consistent basis, what do you feel like guys need to know or need to do in order to build the trust that they're searching for in their marriage?
Mm-hmm. I think it starts with connecting with your spouse on a deeper level and understanding their love language. And so for us, with mine being quality time, you actually making the effort to spend time with us and kind of build up that bank before you maybe go on a trip like this. And so for us this past weekend, spending a bunch of time together, and then even last night, doing bedtime together and all of those things. And so I think it starts with just somple acts like that, and building that trust back up. But then also if you're trying to accomplish something for yourself, working out or working on your business, showing that you are actually doing that in your actions. Mm-hmm. So for you, it's no question, you're gonna get up in the morning, you're gonna journal, meditate, and stack, and then you're gonna go work out, and then come back, and then I'll do my routine. And like I just know that as part of you. And so I think it starts with those like small actions and like behaviors. But
that trust that is built off of that creates such a deep level of support in everything that I do. From the investments that I make in myself and coaching, right? Dropping $100,000 for 120 days for a coach, to traveling last year, to walking away from a 7-figure business and stepping into something that I feel like has been my calling. There's never been this moment with you being like, what the fuck are you doing? Not once.
yeah.
There's been this constant just being like, all right, I trust him. He's leading us somewhere, and I know that wherever he's gonna take us, he's got a vision for it.
Right.
And knowing that like I don't have to constantly combat you because we've built this dynamic, we've built this relationship, we've built this depth. It allows me to play fucking all out.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I think one thing that also changed over the last like year or so is like building it together.
Yeah.
And like doing these podcasts together so that I have some investment. But then also, if you're going to go out and talk about marriage and relationships and business, like that obviously involves me. And so like having some sort of voice in it as well, I feel like just makes it so that we're on the same team, and it's not you like going out to like, I don't know, like bash our relationship or talk about something where like I had felt like I didn't have a voice.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think it's important that you have a voice. I also think like when it comes to trust, like the woman has to like build trust too. Like she has to be responsible for it as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. What are the small or big things that I do that helps you have trust in our relationship?
Taking care of the boys. I know that I can trust you to take care of the boys. There's also other things like, it's just like little things. I don't have to worry about the house. I don't have to worry about, dinner being ready. I don't have to worry about the boys having a good day. I don't have to worry about, some of the nuanced like bills and stuff that you take care of, like with our rental properties, like you're handling those things. And I think just watching you say, hey, I'm going to do this, and then you do it, builds a ton of trust. Yeah. Now, where I lose it very quickly is when you say you're going to do something, and then I have to ask you, and you tell me you didn't do it, and then you give me some bullshit story about why you didn't do it. Right? Whether it's like, I didn't book the babysitter. And it's like, well, I told you on Monday, I don't know what else. You said you were going to handle it, and now that you didn't handle it, well, now we can't go on date night. So, right? So that type of stuff to me, and it's like the little things, right? And it's the little things that like can feel so big when they compound. Like when I say I'm going to do something, and then I don't do it. And then I say I'm going to do something again, and I don't do it. And it's like small things like, oh, I'll go to the grocery store today. Oh, I'll drop this letter in the mail to get the birth certificate tomorrow. And then those things don't happen.
Right.
And it's like a death by 1,000 paper cuts. And I think on the other side of it is like when you're doing things and I can see it and you're like in your flow, I'm with it.
Right.
And the moment you step out, it's not that I don't trust you, it's that I can't depend on you.
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, fuck, I got to carry all the weight. And that doesn't happen a lot. But when it does, then I think that lack of trust or that lack of dependability turns into resentment. And now that's when I feel us going like this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then how do we get out of that?
You do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. That's it.
And then that builds the confidence back in you for me.
Yeah. It's here. That's the biggest thing. Like, even when we were in couples therapy the other day, and our therapist was like, Lizzie, just tell him, right? Because there was this, I can't remember what we were talking. Oh, we were talking about going to Mexico.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't tell me how you actually felt because you didn't want to disappoint me. And I wouldn't tell you how I actually felt because what was it? I wanted us to be happy. Like I wanted to go do something.
Right.
And the therapist was like, Lizzie, I want you to hear what Sergio has to say. And then he asked me, what do I want to hear? I go, just tell me the truth.
Yeah.
Like when you just tell me the truth and we don't have to like beat around the bush and I don't have to like pretend to try to figure this whole thing out and like pull it out of you. When you just tell me the truth, It's rooted in trust, which means now I trust that you're telling me something.
Right.
It's when you're like, nothing's wrong. And I'm like, the fuck it's not. I was like, I came downstairs and you won't even look at me or talk to me and you're giving me the silent treatment and you're going to tell me everything's okay? Like, I'm not that fucking dumb. I was born at night, but not last night. Dad joke for you.
Yeah.
And so it's those things that, like, when you just tell me the truth and you do what you say you're going to do without me having to ask, all is right.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's an opportunity for a couple to connect at a deeper level because like the surface level is, I don't know, I got busy and I didn't take care of it versus like, I don't know, a lot has happened this week, you know, with the health of my family members or, and I'm like processing that, you know, and that's why.
And I think to that exact point, it's 100% accountability.
Yeah.
You, hey, Lizzie, you're right. I forgot to drop the mail in the letter in the mail because I got on calls and then I forgot to do it and I forgot to make a reminder. So you know what? That's on me. Or you being like, yeah, you're right. I forgot to plan the babysitter. I'm still processing all of this stuff around my family. I'm trying to figure it out. So I forgot.
Right.
If you had said that, I'd been like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But I've read between the lines and figured that out.
Yeah.
But sometimes I just like you want me to own my shit, I want you to own your shit. I fucked up.
Yeah.
Hey, coach, that was on me.
Yeah, I know. Well, sometimes for me, I think it's also about just like slowing down and being able to like connect with those emotions and the why under what actually happened and why it didn't happen.
Even to that point, though. Hey, like this is what guys do, and I think this like loses trust in relationships too.
Yeah.
Guys like to do this thing where they don't want to talk about their problems.
True.
Because what they want to do is process it, understand it, and then bring it to their wife and be like, look what I fixed. But in the process of them doing that, they're disassociating from the family, they're disconnected, they're isolated and reserved, and the wife's over there being like, did I do something? Like, what's going on? Like, you know, is he angry at me?
Right.
Versus me coming to you and being like, hey, listen, I'm going through something about X, Y, and Z, and I don't fully understand it yet, but I'm trying to process it.
Right.
And so while I'm doing that, I'm going to talk to you about it, but I don't know what it is yet.
Yeah.
Like, that's different. Like, just being honest about that allows trust to build because you're just being real about where you're at.
Yeah, for sure. But do you feel like a lot of men have trouble expressing their emotions in their relationship? Like, do you hear about that?
Everybody does. Women do. Men do.
It's true.
And I think it stems from a lack of trust that if you share it, the other person is going to listen and not judge.
Yeah.
Because the times when you're willing to share something openly with me is when we've slowed things down. You feel safe and you know that I'm seeing you for who you are and you can speak it and you know that I'm not going to judge you.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or get defensive.
Or get
anything
defensive.
Like that.
And that's been one of the things that I've watched Garrett do it, and he's made a commitment to it, is become immovable in your marriage.
Yeah.
To the point where like you can say whatever you want. You can yell, you can scream, you can do whatever you want. I'm not moving. And it's in that place where you're like, well, fuck, if he's not going to move, I can share anything.
Yeah. It does create this like very strong foundation to be able to share anything and not be judged for it, but just, I don't know,
Yeah.
have a conversation about it.
A lot of the guys in the comments in my videos right now are just like, so it's just on us? Like, we have to do everything? I'm like, you fucking pussy. I was like, yeah, you kind of have to, right? What are you going to do? Just like blame her for not doing it? You're going to constantly point at her? She has her own responsibilities. I'm not saying that you don't need to handle your shit.
No.
But what I am saying is that like all I can do is control me. So as the man, handle your shit. Deal with your things. Lead the fucking family. Lead yourself. And in doing that, she will do the same thing for her. Right? But these guys are like, oh man, like we got to make the money and we have to do this and we have to do this. Yes. And if you're not willing to do that, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like that's the new standard. You can't just be, now I'm going on a rant, just stick with me. You can't just provide a paycheck. You have to be a good husband, you have to be an active father, and you have to be the role model as a fucking man.
Yeah, I mean,
That's how you build trust.
why wouldn't you want to do that?
I don't know, because these guys get into this place. And here's the thing too. These guys get into this place where they're doing everything. And then their wife doesn't see them. And she never says any words of affirmation and never recognizes them.
Yeah.
Never says, hey, you're doing a good job. Hey, thank you. And now the guy's like, well, then what the fuck? Am I just like an ATM here?
Yeah.
That's why I tell you, like, yours is quality time.
Yours is words of affirmation.
Yeah. And if I give you quality
Investing.
time 20 minutes every 3 weeks, would that be enough?
No.
No. And so when I tell you I need words of affirmation, it's a daily thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then there's women in the comments being like, men just need to grow up and not look for external validation from their wife. It's like, I'm not looking for external validation. I'm also human. It feels good to be seen.
Well, if you're in a loving relationship, like you want to be able to speak those things to each other because you're just filling each other's cup up, and then like when you guys both feel full, it just creates a lot of more opportunity. It's like you're functioning at like a higher level, and then you just keep growing together, and then I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
pour into each other because you love each other.
yeah.
Raise the vibe, raise the energy, raise the standard, and in doing that, like you guys can execute and do things that you never could have imagined. Like you and I would not be in this house if we didn't get on the same page.
Right.
We went from a $475,000 home to a $1.3 million home.
Yeah.
I was so uncomfortable, right, buying this house.
Yeah.
Yet in that moment, there was so much peace because you and I were on the same team. I was like, bro, like as long as we're chugging along in this, like we're gonna crush.
Right.
And I think that's a big piece too. Is like if you're willing to operate as a team instead of rivals, and you pour into each other just like you would your best friend,
Yeah.
or a buddy that would call you and that's hurting, or a girlfriend that's being like, yo, I need some help. If you pour into them the way that you do those people,
Yes.
your marriage will be a direct reflection of that.
Yeah.
And your trust will be through the roof.
Yeah, and the kids feel it, and then they thrive, and I
Yeah.
don't know, everything. Life is just like easier.
Yeah, dude, this is not complicated.
No,
Our pride and egos get in the way.
all the time.
Our stories get in the way. And that's why, like, in the beginning, when you don't have trust, you have to invest in the bank account without expecting anything in return. And that's
Yes.
hard.
Yeah,
For how long? As long as it fucking takes.
yeah,
And then, if nothing is ever returned, and you've left no doubt in the spouse, you and
Yeah.
me and you, then you have a decision. Do I want
Yeah.
to stay in the relationship, or do I want to say, peace, I'm out?
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are certain things that you can do, like maybe start couples therapy, or
Well,
I
yeah,
don't know,
leave no
invest
doubt.
in individual therapy for yourself, and
Yeah.
I don't know, work on healing yourself. And if that doesn't work, then yeah, there's a decision.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we made the decision to truly like invest in this relationship.
Yeah, me too.
Like it's been amazing.
I agree.
Yeah, proud of you. All right, let's wrap this thing with our last question. I'm so stoked that I remembered to do this the last 2 times. Do you want to pick? You want me to pick?
Sure, I'll pick.
Okay.
Okay.
Pick a card in card.
Pick a card.
All right.
Okay. Ooh.
Read it.
If you had to write a book, what would it be about?
Be about me. In fact, I made a decision that I want to write a book about my life this year.
Yeah.
And I'm going to call it Live Loud.
I like
I'm
it.
going to talk about all the experiences that I've had and how you can look at it in 2 different perspectives. You can look how it happened to you, or you can look at it happened for you. And so one of the things that God has placed on my heart is to live my life so loud that it becomes irrefutable that the results I have in my life came from all of the hardship that I've gone through. And I hope that in doing that, this amazing book about me, and now that I've done it publicly, I have to do it, it gives other people permission to do the same.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. What would you write about?
That's a good one. I would write, I think, more of like a personal book, if you can count that, and just like little journal entries of like day-to-day life with our family and our 2 boys, just because I want to be able to like remember every moment. And I don't know, it like these kids are growing so fast, and I don't know, I don't have a lot of memories from my childhood, except for, when I got older and started dancing and stuff.
Yeah.
And I wish I had those memories. And so being able to like go back to those, I think would be amazing.
I love it.
So
Nice.
yeah, cool.
All right, y'all. Thanks for joining us here on the Late Night Date Night podcast. She's Lizzie Ray. I'm Sergio Nazaro. Come follow us on Instagram. And if you get a moment, leave us a review. If you hate this, tell us. If you love it, leave a 5-star. More importantly, if you know another couple that would benefit from this, go ahead and share it with them. Till next time.
Peace.
Peace.